Good day, everybody. And today we're going to be talking about, playing the piano, but we're going to actually be specifically talking about this piece of paper right here. This piece of paper is entitled Major Chord and Major Scale Cube. Okay, on this major scale cube, let's identify as to really what it is doing. All the numbers over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 at the top. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the side. These numbers on the side represent the keys that are on the keyboard. C, C sharp, or D flat, whatever you want to call it. D, D sharp, or E flat, whichever one you want to call it. E, F, F sharp, or G flat. G, A flat, or G sharp. A flat, or B flat, whichever one you want to call it. And B. Those are the 12 steps. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the top is that same thing as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti before you get back to do. So in singing regiments, we know to sing that in that pattern. So there, basically, we build those as steps. So from C to D, from D to E, E to F, F to G, G to A to B. So there are steps. When we look at our steps on our scale, on our piano, we know that from C to D is a whole step. From D to E is a whole step. From E to F is a half step because you're only going right next door. From F to G is a whole step. G to A, whole step. From A to B is a whole step. And from B to C is a half step because it's right next door. There's no note in between it. So, in order to know basically my steps in that, without actually even knowing, I can start on F sharp. And if I started on F sharp, I can take that same whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, then half step. So whole, half, whole, half. Whole, half, whole. And after that 7th step is another half step. You can do that in any one of these keys and you'll get the major scale out of what you're looking for. This here sheet actually spells that out and it tells you exactly what key it is. Now we have this thing that's actually called the spider. And in the spider, we understand that we use the 1, the 5, and the 1. 1, 5, 1. We use the pinky, index finger, and thumb. C, G, which would be right here, and you'll hit the other C on the octaves. From C to C is an octave. C to C is an octave. That G be right there in the middle. So make sure we use that index finger for your left hand. C, G, C. If you was in the key of G, it would be G, D, and G with your thumb. And all that is left hand exercises. Scale to make yourself good. That would actually, 1, 5, and 1 will give you your spider for each one of these keys. C, G, C sharp, G sharp. In the key of D, D, A, and D. In the key of E, B, and E. In the key of A, E, and A. In the key of B, F sharp, and B. So whatever it is on the beginning is always going to be the thumb and that pinky is always going to be the same note. B and B, A and A, G and G, E and E, C and C. That middle is always going to be number 5 on the left hand. So make sure you remember that. For your chords, if I had to do a major chord, I can look at my 1, my 3, and my 5. 1, 3, and 5, that's my C, E, and G. I always think about making my major chords like a baseball. When I'm getting ready to throw a baseball, I throw it like this. So once I get those chords down there, I can always use these other 2 fingers to reach out to other things that I actually need. So I want to make sure that I get that baseball figure inside my rotation of actually putting my C, my E, my G, my first 3 fingers, my baseball fingers in my right hand. So when I get ready to spread out to anything else to make my 7th or my 9th chord, they are always ready to actually be able to intervene. So 1, 3, and 5 will always be your major chords on any one of these. So if I was in the key of G, my 1, 3, and 5 major chord would be G, B, and D. If I was doing a major chord in the right hand with in the key of E, it would be E, A flat, and B. That would be my major chord. Those are the major chords. There are inversions of major chords. Don't always try to put whatever your first note is. Switch it up some. Allow this board to actually be able to allow you to change up. If I did C, E, and G, try E, G, and C. Change up the rotations. Make G first. Do G, C, and E. You know, so you can invert your chords. That goes for any one of these steps that's actually on this paper. Anything that you do in one key, you can always do it in another key. This here is not meant to actually carry with you on gigs. This is for you to actually be able to practice and be able to best memorize your chords so that you can actually be able to know how to maneuver when it's time to maneuver. We have to be prepared in cases where songs have to be transposed. If songs have to be transposed, we shouldn't always be looking for the transpose key button. What if it doesn't have a transpose key button? Then, therefore, I need to know how to transpose and play the song in other keys. This formula would actually be able to help you to move. So familiarize yourself with, we call it the WHOOPE Cube. This is the cube. So just like a Rubik's Cube, this is the musical cube for WHOOP. So enjoy yourself. Hopefully you learned something on today. And if you're in my classes, you know about this board. Get familiar with it and let's go to work, y'all. We got a lot of work to do out there. Thank you so much. This is WHOOP Entertainment of the Arts and Crossing Over. My name is Kevin, with Kevin Pollock Simplified Versions. We love y'all. Take care. I hope you learned something.